Hey everyone, I'm just going to give everyone a second to get logged in and then we're going to get started.
All right. Great to be back in New York. How you doing, Coleman?
We're doing great here in the Big Apple.
All right.
I
I
was
wouldn't
at
be
the
here without
marathon.
Monica.
I was
You
at
were
the
at the bear?
marathon yesterday for emergency communications and a few dropouts there. But mostly it was a beautiful day.
Sure. Me and Monica were gonna go, but it was filled up. We could have ran the marathon, right, Monica?
Sure,
I'm
absolutely.
speaking for Monica, not myself.
I would have just stopped at Coleman's post and talked to him for the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
All right, let's get going here. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever in the world you're joining us from today. Today's webinar is co-hosted by NYOUG, the New York Oracle User Group, and Oracle partner Viscosity. We've got a powerhouse presenter for you today, my colleague, friend, and wonderful conference buddy, Rich Niemiec. We're so happy to have him here speaking to you guys today about Oracle Gen AI, vector database, and agents. Today's presentation is live and there is a Q&A field, so be sure to take advantage of your hour with Rich by using that Q&A field. He will get to questions following today's presentation. If we do go over in time, don't forget if you have to drop that this is being recorded and we will send you information on how you can rewatch that. So again, my name is Monica Lee. I work for Viscosity, and joining me today is Coleman and Rob from the New York Oracle User Group. They're just going to tell us a little bit about their group.
Thank you, Monica. So the New York Oracle Users Group was formed in 1984 for the exchange of ideas, assistance, and support among users of Oracle software products. And you can reach out to us by nyoug.org. You can see our presentations, webinars that we've had for the past 5 years, mainly co-hosting with Viscosity. And we wish to thank Viscosity for co-hosting these series of webinars that we've had for the past 5 years and ongoing forward. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Coleman. All right, so one more time. Yes, my name is Monica. I work for Viscosity, and we are a full Oracle stack consulting firm with core expertise in Oracle database. That includes RAC, Oracle Apex. We perform near zero downtime migrations. We do tons of performance tuning and high availability projects for our customers, and we've got decades of experience with infrastructure, including engineered systems. This slide right here just shows the three pillars that Viscosity is built upon: data, apps, and cloud. Across the bottom, you'll see services that we offer across all three pillars. But if anything here ever speaks to you where you've got some pain points, where you need some guidance, I would love to speak to you and get you in touch with one of our consultants or executive management team members to see how we can help you, or see if we can get you just some free resources even to help guide you and your team. This slide right here shows some of our Oracle ACE directors and Oracle ACE associate on our team, Rich being one of our ACE directors here. These guys, if you're not familiar with them, they're constantly presenting, writing. They're highly involved with the Oracle community. So if you've not been to any conferences or any virtual webinars through OUGs like NYOUG, I highly recommend finding one local to you, or at least finding a virtual one that's offering something for you for free like this today. There's OUGs across the globe. Definitely look for one. But if you're not familiar with the ACE program, there are tons of ACEs across the globe as well. You can find some of them to help you out, or if you want, you can at least follow them on social media to see what's going on in the Oracle world. All right, on this page, I normally like to just point out Oracle License Management, kind of touch base on the other things quickly, but Oracle License Management, we do have a lot of folks on our team that either came out of Oracle or have been doing this for a long time. We do really help our clients with getting the most out of their buck. We also make sure that you are only investing in the things that we believe you're going to use, and we follow up with you to make sure you're using those things. We just want to make sure you're investing in the right technologies, the right amounts, things like that. And if we can get you a deeper discount, we will. So definitely look for any Oracle partner. I always recommend with license management. It just helps so much, and it's such a headache when you don't do it too often. All right, and then finally, aurapub.com is where Viscosity houses all of their recordings and slide decks from any and every conference and webinar that we've ever done. So including today's webinar, it can be found here. You can sign up as a free member. There are paid tiers, but honestly, all you really need is a free membership if you're interested in rewatching webinars like this or finding slide decks at conferences that Viscosity's at. As always, you can also find these NYOUG viscosity webinars at nyoug.org. Okay, and with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Coleman, who's going to introduce you guys to Rich.
Thank you, Monica. Rich is the current Chief Innovation Officer of Viscosity North America. Rich is an Oracle ACE Director, a world-renowned IT expert, and was a co-founder and the CEO of TUSC, a Chicago-based systems integrator of Oracle-based business solutions started in 1988. Rich has served as president of Rolta TUSC and Rolta EICT. And without any further ado, I just want to introduce you to Rich and welcome him here to present this webinar on GenAI, VectorDB, and agents. And thank you again, Viscosity, for these years of co-hosting these webinars.
All right. So first I'll say thank you, Coleman. Can you guys see that okay, Monica?
I do not see your screen yet.
I see your screen. I see
see?
the presentation.
All right. Let me just put that in presenter mode. So first of all, what is AI? To me, AI is one thing. It's a force multiplier. So when I look at AI, it's like when a person got a hammer or they got a saw. It was a force multiplier for the work that they can do. You're now giving others this force multiplier, this tool. AI, I look at as augmenting individuals. You know, you don't have any individuals setting bowling pins, cutting ice, lighting street lamps. What are some of those jobs within your company that you can augment individuals so that they do more than what they're doing now? What jobs are going to go away that you need to start transitioning people into those other jobs? You're here at a turning point. AI is this incredible turning point that's happening. How are you going to leverage it? Why did God put you here at this exact point in time? As Monica talked about all of our pillars, but I want to note one thing is on the cloud. Notice we're Azure, Oracle, AWS, Google. So multi-cloud is also something we can do for you. Now that everything is all about the data, data is what's fueling AI. I also wanted to say a lot of these speakers, including me, are on the Orapub network where you can have others in your company watch them at a time that they need. But what am I going to look at? What's the value of your data? What are some of the distractions that are going on? Then I'm going to go into some of the algorithms. Now, my last New York talk was on all the algorithms. This is just going to give you a feel for these are things you should have put in, building that foundation model for your company. Then I'm going to look at LLMs, Retrieval Augmented Generation, and agents, how to take that to the next step. Eventually, those agents will find their way into robots. And if I have time, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I saw at AI World. But the first thing, what is the value or economic potential of your data? McKinsey said a company could be worth 25% more if you leverage their data. The problem with it is it can be copied perfectly and infinitely. So do you have a secure system? Are you doing that the right way? And then all the distractions. We used to go we went from postal mail to email, then it was floppy drives, US encyclopedia to Wikipedia, filing cabinet to a database. Now we're going very fast. Email now, Instagram, just going to send a picture. Wikipedia, Alexa and Siri, what is it? Wikipedia is sending you to a robot. The database administrator had to manage too many databases. Now there's autonomous database for those smaller databases. But we're moving from a technology to another technology in history. You have to understand when that's happening and when you need to adopt it. Right now, that technology move is to AI and robotics. The good news is Oracle has given you the best tools that you need to do that. Innovation, cloud, data, apps, security, machine learning, AI, built-in LLMs into the cloud. If you look at Da Vinci, he was an apprentice. He worked for a place that had every tool you can think of so that he could build what he could think of. Look at Larry. I like leaders, people who do things before they become fashionable. He's saying I like innovators. That's why he builds those innovative components. Robot may not look like one that manages the database. Are you letting autonomous database manage your smaller databases? Robots that secure a system using machine learning and AI. Put the patch on before I even know it needs a patch. And then now we're in multi-cloud. How good is the Oracle database? How secure is it? Amazon, Google, Microsoft, competitors for years now use that autonomous database as well on their clouds. Autonomous transaction processing, I can go into database action. If I was building my foundation model for my company 7 or 8 years ago, and I used to give a talk on this with machine learning, the examples Oracle gives you is you want to cluster data. We could show you how to do that. Cluster age groups into the ones that buy your product. Classify data to good or bad customers. You want to do it in R? We have examples. You want to do it in Python? We have examples. You want to do it in SQL? We have examples. Oh, you're on Azure? No problem. Now you can do autonomous database and all those same database actions. So what is Oracle doing? They're getting better. First, they gave you algorithms. Algorithms were what's the business problem and what function do I want to do? Do I want to classify good and bad customers? Do I want to cluster data into potential customers of age groups? Do I want to look at attributes of those good customers? What is it I'm trying to do? Then, what algorithm does that function? Somebody once said there's textual algorithms. Why don't we just start classifying that? And they built what's now called LLMs. So which algorithm do you want to use? Then, when you create a model, you are training it. So if you create a model with 60% of your data, it's training it on it. Then you can test and score it with the other 40%. And since there's multiple algorithms in each area, you can now pick which ones are better or worse. So are you trying to classify the good and bad customers? Are you looking for what attributes make those good customers? Are you trying to cluster age groups? Are you trying to find what they buy together? Are you trying to find fraud with anomaly detection? This was the last session I did at NYOUG. This one I'm just saying, this should be part of your foundation model for your company. I'm going to give one example, decision tree algorithm. Maybe you're a lawyer, you have a law firm. Should I proceed with it? Maybe I'll win, maybe I'll lose. There's costs sometimes, there's damages sometimes. They're offering me $30,000. Well, the decision tree algorithm will say you're going to lose $2,500. If you look at the future of AI, somebody's going to call, going to turn those words into text. It's going to go through this decision tree algorithm, and it's going to say, I'm sorry, we can't take that case, or yes, we could take that case in the future. How do I do it in Oracle with SQL, PL SQL? Well, I need an algorithm. Then it's as easy as just creating a model. Remember, when you create it, you're training it on data in a certain table, classifying data into customers that will buy the Chicago Bears logo credit card. And then now I can find out from a list of values which customers they should, focus on. Oh, I think these people in New York, they're not buying this, especially with this game next week. How about a support vector machine? Different algorithm classifies into good and bad customers. It's math that someone built 50 years ago, the best math. How about a neural network? Maybe I want to classify images now. I want to build an autonomous car. I want to classify handwriting or things like that. Well, with images, based on the image, you used to do feature extraction. Oh, does it have eyes? Does it have a nose, ears, fur? Oh, it's a dog or a cat or it's a car. Whatever it is, it can figure it out. Then something changed. All of a sudden, it was called deep learning. show it 1,000 pictures of a cat, and now it knows what to look for, and it can tell you if it's a cat. And it knows, don't hit that cat when it's crossing the road. So deep learning starts to create, most of the time, creates vector embeddings. And we're going to talk about that more in a little bit. But what it's doing, instead of programming, I'm walking, running's a little faster, biking's a little faster. Oh, now golfing didn't work. Now let's put sensors on that body. Now I can tell when they're walking, running, biking, or golfing, because now I can look for that pattern in multi-dimensional vector space. And that's where we're going in the next phase. But before I do that, I need to put these algorithms in different parts, building that foundation model. And you could put them together if you're good, and you should be, because you're on this call. Find the attributes that make something up, then classify it into good or bad customers. So let's look at another one. I have an algorithm, support vector machines, I'm going to use to find attributes where customers buy insurance. It says these are the top attributes. Then I'm going to put it together with classification. Now that I've found the attributes, now find if this specific customer is going to buy insurance using the attributes I know that matter. And it's going to give me a prediction on what are the odds that they'll buy it. Exadata, the other magic that Oracle has. I feel like AI just fell into Oracle's lap. They built all the right things for 40 years, and now all they had to do was bolt on a vector database, which they did. Multi-tenant inside Exadata. Could have data in different places in memory, right? Sum up a column of salaries for the entire table, or I could do the buffer cache, one record. I could do rack, one node goes down, the others are up. Active data guard, one node fails, the other one fails over. I could do partitioning, separating data into smaller pieces to make those machine learning algorithms faster. And I could, on the storage side, Oracle automatically builds indexes. Oh, you didn't build an index? We built one for you. Oh, you're using a vector on the Exadata. Oh, we could transfer that and it can stay a vector. All kinds of things. If I'm a data scientist, it also does lift, gain, rock curves. If you want to do that, I'm not going to cover it, but it shows you which algorithm does better. And Oracle has ways of graphing that as well. So have you started to build the foundation model for your company? You also can use auto machine learning. Will automatically build a notebook for you for classification or regression. Now, the data which fuels big data, it just keeps getting bigger. The speed of it's coming at you faster, especially with social media. The value in different varieties, it's hard to do that if you don't have a relational database. The truth of data is becoming more and more important. Well, I could build single databases for each of those, or I could use Oracle Converge database, whether it's relational, whether it's objects or documents, JSON, whether it's graphs, whether it's spatial mapping data, or whether it's vectors, Oracle with 23 AI, and recently 26 AI. What are we doing though? We used to look at data and the managers would say, what happened? I missed my numbers. And all of a sudden, well, now find out why it happened. And all of a sudden it started to be what's going to happen, predictive analytics. And what could tell me what I need to do, prescriptive analytics, prescribe to me what I need to do. Now we're moving to agentic AI. Build an agent that automatically trains the person 3 months prior to the time I see this problem, buy the ingredients prior to that so I have enough ingredients to support the amount of sales that are about to increase. Agent, act on something, and eventually robotics as well. Why did this all start? Well, it all started with ChatGPT. And in November 2022, ChatGPT had been around 10 years, but they put a chat front end on it. And then the next year, 2023, they put ChatGPT 4. It understands images as well, not just text. How fast did it go? Uber took 70 months to hit 100 million users. Instagram, 30. TikTok, just 9. ChatGPT, just 2. You knew it was going to be big. Larry said, I don't know if this is going to be the biggest thing ever, but they're spending a lot of money, so you're about to find out. And it was. So if I think of this for people that don't know, GPT, generative pre-trained transformer, might give you the wrong answer. Databases are generally factual, precise information. We've made them that way. Large language models are just an algorithm for text that are trained on Wikipedia, the internet. Turns a word into a vector embedding, multi-dimensional vector embedding, we'll see it, and vector embedding gives some semantic meaning to the word. Like we saw earlier, the dog, we showed enough pictures of the dog and it knows what a dog is. Then the answer back, it's a vector, so I have to turn it back into words to get an answer. And you could see how many parameters they put into this, in the trillions now or beyond that. But Larry said, I don't need to build an LLM. Plenty of people are doing that. If you want to find something, we can do a vector embedding with the LLM and then search in the database if I just build a vector data type, and I'll give you the matches. And this started with 23.4 of Oracle. So basically, the user asks a question, the LLM turns that into a vector. Then it takes that vector, searches your documents, which you have to vectorize. It doesn't show that here, but you do. And then the answer comes back to you and says, this is what you should do. But the vector is a little more complicated. This is multi-dimensional space. This is just 4 numbers. This is a whole lot more than 4 numbers. So what does Oracle do? It says, hey, we'll embed all those documents, build vector embeddings, pieces, how you break it up matters. Then when the person asks a question for support, it'll go search and find the answer out of these documents I have and give you the answer. You can also do that with the lane chain with Oracle. How does it actually do it, though? You load the document, you chunk it out into pieces, make sure the right paragraphs and information is together generally, then you embed that, have a vector embedding of it. Then you take that and you index it all. Then the person asks a question, you have to vectorize that, and then it searches those documents that you vector embedded and gives you back an answer in whatever language you ask it in. So very simple. So now I can build a chat by, hey, my generator doesn't work. Here's 4 documents. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Oh, sounds like it's a spark plug. Okay, where can I find one? Oh, now I got to go to the database and find where my locations are and where it's in stock. Or you can order it online. What am I doing? I'm asking a question, going through an LLM, looking at documents, knowledge-based searching the database, maybe based on pricing or location. Then I'm actually letting them order it through an ERP system. All those things fall into something called the context window. Any instructions I want to give, don't hallucinate, don't give me the wrong answer. If you don't know, tell me. Asking the question, all the documents, the memory where they've asked several questions. I don't want them to forget what the other questions were, the work area, and then a response. So that context area with ChatGPT-3 is just a few K. That's it. Now, 10 million context windows, and you can see these keep leapfrogging each other and getting bigger. So how long can this be? How much can I get in memory? A lot. Now, what does it cost me? Well, they usually charge you in tokens. And you go, well, how many words is that? Well, usually 1 million tokens is about 750,000 words. The multiplication is about 0.75, even though it says 700. So you buy tokens, and now I can do 750,000 words or so. Oracle put it a different way. Hey, if you want to search for something, vector is telling you the semantic content of the data, no longer the pixels like we used to do, but now it finds those vectors and searches them, and they're a little complicated. So if you wanted to find a cat, well, the vector near this cat is going to be another cat, and the dog's a little further away, but the animals maybe are together. What happens? I'm going to give you an important point here. What happens if I don't have enough cats here, and there were only 2 and the rest were dogs? Well, if I said, give me the top 5 cats, it's going to grab the nearest ones, and 3 of them are going to be dogs. So sparse data will give you more hallucinations. Keep that in mind. Okay, how about a dog chasing a cat? Obviously, somewhere between here, maybe it's a dog chasing a cat. Maybe I could put all of the animals in one dimension and maybe put food in another dimension and maybe objects and a cat jumping over a table to land on an apple. But since the apple is here, well, I might get a hallucination. Apple computer is going to be here because Apple was here because the vector is similar if I don't have enough apples. I can see where those hallucinations. But what I'm trying to do is think of when you're searching for a movie. I want a Harrison Ford movie, the actor, one dimension. With this co-star, 2 dimensions. With this director, 3 dimensions. This genre, science fiction, 4 dimensions. At this time frame, 5 dimensions. Oh, I want a certain scene, 6 dimensions where something you can see how you very quickly get to even hundreds or thousands of dimensions. Oracle shows it this way. Well, if you look at just the type of the roof, decoration, number of stories, building materials, kind of vectorizing what it sees might be things like this. Definitely depends on the LLM, but now we could tell you're looking for this house, not this one. That's a little further away. And it does that by looking at the distance. Euclidean is straight line distance. You usually do that for images. You can also do it by cosine. Think of the cosine between these. They're still close, and this one's pretty far. So you could use that. I could build an app to search for that house. All I got to do, I already have binary large object in Oracle. I can load that picture. Now I can vectorize it and build a vector embedding. I can look for a different price, a different city. But Oracle's make it, I want to insert new houses. No problem. Oracle does it. I want to update those houses. I want to update the price maybe. I want to delete the house. It was sold. All those things Oracle does fast with partitioning, with mapping, with buffer cache, with in-columnar memory. All those things are going to be an advantage with Oracle. Create a table, all I had to add vector data type and searching by the vector distance. And now they have indexes, but they have many more indexes than other people have. And here's just some more examples. Here's an example of changing the vector distance. The default is cosine. You can see I could change it to Manhattan. Well, why Manhattan? Well, cosine, good for text, and it's the default. Euclidean, straight line, good for images. But Manhattan, if I'm driving a cab and I want to know the distance, I can't take the straight line. I can't drive through that building. I'm sorry. So now I got to look at it that way. Or Hamming, number of dimensions. You got to see where things fit. Like anything, you got to do some work with this. I can find all the LLM models out there on Hugging Face. Things like Meta, things like just even smaller models. NVIDIA is a framework for Meta, but it'll give me information on how many parameters it's using, how many tokens, basically what it's going to cost you potentially. But Oracle integrates with all of them. Whether you're using OpenAI, using Cohere, using some from Hugging Face, using Bard, well, I should have said Gemini, and so on. And what is it? It's just a package, procedure, functions. That's it. Things you already know work with Oracle, but even better on Exadata 24 AI software, transparently offload to smarts. Some of the searches for vectors are offloaded. And I can transfer vectors using Golden Gate as well. So let's see vector embedding. Let's see how it is to embed. And it's just FYI. I'm going to show you an agent in a minute. This one's more FYI. But it's from this live lab. You want to see how to do embedding. Well, I'm going to use just a small sentence transformer model. Actually, a couple. One's bigger than the other. And just to let you know, the L6 model is the one I use, but you could use L12 as a later model. I have to create a credential for something to get to my cloud. Then after I do that, I have to give some grants to some user that I'm going to use this. I have to grant them access to a lot of things. I called my user Vector, which is the stupidest name you could ever call the user because you're using the word vector all the time. I should call it Vector 7 at the worst. Anyway, then I create a staging directory to store those physical files. In this case, I have it in a bucket, and it's called staging. And a bucket is just a place you store things on Oracle Cloud. And then now this is the syntax I'm going to put using this credential into the staging area. And I'm going to get these 2 models, TinyBird, a BERT model from Google originally that's a little faster. And then the L6 model with 90,000 downloads, which is important. I'll tell you why in a minute. But put the TinyBird object from Oracle, hey, the nice thing, I didn't have to go to Hugging Face. I could just go to Oracle. Gave me this in the live lab, and I found that sentence transformer model. Then I do the same with the other model. Keep in mind, not all Hugging Face models are safe. Anthropic said some have attacks, including malicious models and backdoors. So be careful which model you use. That's why you don't want a model that has like 5 downloads. Bad idea. Now, that physical file, make it there. Yes, Tinybird is there, about 17 meg. The other one about 90 meg. Now I'm going to load them and say these are JSON embedding models. But before I do that, I'm going to put another document, just a PDF, to show you this is not a model place. It's just physical storage when I load these into a bucket. Now I'm going to load them as an Onyx model, and for Oracle you need Onyx models. Notice this wasn't in the live lab. You have to alter your vector, alter user, the quota on the data. But anyway, I'm going to make it a JSON embedding model. And then I'm going to load the other one as a JSON embedding model. Now, when I look at user mining models, I have 2 models. You can see the sizes. And I'm going to try to use them. Okay. Take the word hello and show me what vector embedding you've built with this tiny model. Oh, wow. Look at this. This, comma this, comma this, comma this. How many dimensions are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I better not count them all. Over 100 dimensions. The other one, oh, even bigger, hundreds of dimensions. Something I remember somebody at NVIDIA saying in a talk, he said, you're not looking for a needle in a haystack. You're looking for a grain of sand in the universe. And you can find it, by the way. All right, so that's how we build embeddings. You're going to see Oracle will do that for us very quickly, but I wanted you to know that in case you wanted to try. In the early days, the early cloud had generative AI, but it didn't have any agents yet. Just want to let you know that. Gives you all kinds of information about the models that you can include, where those models are, what zones they're in, etc. How many parameters, 70 billion parameters for this model. How big the context window is, 128K, much bigger than ChatGPT 3 already. Another thing the information does that you should look at is read through this. I don't have time to go through it. I'll just tell you quickly though, when the temperature is 0, generally factual is what you're looking for. Temperature is 2 plus. People will say, oh, you can get it to be more creative, but I look at it, it's also going to hallucinate more. Now, if you're trying to create a Shakespeare document, sure, you can make it creative at a higher temperature, but if you're looking for facts, temperature better be low. And a lot of these, all the LLMs have different default temperatures, so keep that in mind. And some of them are too high. I think Anthropic to be is the best one, has it at 0.3 or 0.4. Top K means fetch the first 3 rows, top 3. If I make top K3, fetch the first 3 rows. Top P, the probability of the top tokens to look at. When those 2 are at odds with each other, it does whichever one's quicker and easier. And these are other parameters. But all of this information in the document, this particular one, you should read in great detail. Now I'm going to build an agent. What is an agent? An agent is it's actually doing something. It's creating something. It can do things like GenAI and so on. This is the live lab home that you can go to. Now I'm going to go into there, and it's giving me a region. And it says, first of all, I want you to grab some documents that people can ask questions of these documents. Like you want to fine tune a model. If they say, how do I find it? It's going to read this document and find it. So it's going to build the vector embedding. But first I need to move it. I move it to my PC and I download it. Let's say on my laptop. And it says you need to build that, upload that into a cloud bucket so it's on the cloud. So I build a bucket. And if I scroll down, I click upload and I drag those files into this area where you could drag or drop files where you can find them. And then it starts loading those. Now, just to let you know, this was my junk directory. I had some release notes from different versions, and I had some other documents I didn't realize. But anyway, you'll see one of them. And I go to analytics and AI this time now. I go to generative AI agents. But before I do, I want to show you just what's in GenAI. So what can I do? Well, I can chat using different models. I can do generation. of things. GenAI, I could summarize documents. I could build embedding. So those are things you can do. I don't cover here. Next, I'm going to go to AI agents. And it tells me, well, you need 3 steps to build this agent. You'll see this changes slightly later. But I need a knowledge base. What documents am I looking at? What do I need to, just going to build embeddings for? Then I'm going to create an agent, and then I'm going to test it by asking questions. So the first step was build a new knowledge base. I'm building it, specify a data source. Well, I have a bucket here where I put physical things in, and now it says I can ingest these. And then I say select all in the bucket. Now it's building that knowledge base. Now I have a knowledge base vectorized that now I can go to. Next, I want to build an agent. Press create an agent, give it a name, give it a welcome message. How can I help you? This is, I figure if I'm an agent, might as well be Rich 007. This is Rich 007. Can I help you? And if I forgot to create a knowledge base, I still can do it here as well. Or I can just mention what it is. Then, whoa, all of a sudden license agreement. Wow. You know, I did the Llama one, and it was Oracle's cloud. So I said, have I read it all? Have you seen the Declaration of Independence? I haven't. Now it's building the agent, creating work request in progress. You can see how fast it's going. The agent is up and ready. Notice the launch chat button is ready to go. Sometimes you will build that agent and it's not quite done. Just give it a couple more seconds. It'll get there and it'll come in. So I'm going to go to Rich 007 and I go in there. This is my agent and I say, launch the chat. Is it working? Hi, Rich, can I help you? Can you access the notes for 23AI? Yes, you included this document, release notes, page 14 and 15, 12, and it tells you specifically where and the answer to my question in English. I said, what are the bug fixes for 23AI? Gave me the bug fixes. Would get a little lower below this would be the citations if I wanted it. And I thought, well, since it's an LLM, can you tell me about $BH? Is the number of buffer headers in the buffer cache for Oracle? I don't know the answer. Read my book. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's go back to what I know you have. Can you give me the restrictions for AI vector search? Yes, that I can give you. Onyx models. Vector memory size has to be big enough. How about creating a fine-tune model? Do you know how to do that? Use that document I uploaded from the live lab. And yes, it tells you how to do that. And I thought, let me do something the LLM should be able to answer. Do you know 2 plus 2? I mean, Llama should know that. Yes, the answer is 4. Then I look at the citation and it says, for example, it says 516 tokens, the maximum token size is 512. Select to truncate the end of the last 4 tokens, the sentence is cut off. And that's why 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, I you got it right. Can you speak in Spanish? Yes. Can you talk like a pirate? Yes. How about 19C? Do you know about that? Yes. These are the pages. Tell me about 23A new features. Gives me JSON relational duality. It could be in JSON, it could be in relational at the same time. One is a view, part of the table. Can do true cache, so the middle tier gets cached. New York Stock Exchange called this one of the best things they had built. Vector search, newest thing. And I thought, I don't remember that in that document I uploaded. And I looked and it said, oh, it's my blog. I didn't even know it was in my junk directory. And it ended up in there. Careful what's in there. And it knew the answer. And I thought, well, that was fun. You go to the live lab if you want to learn how to build your first agent. This is what I did, unlock your first agent. You can also use a sentence transformer. I'll give you an example. This is in a basic class, very good. Notice he's looking for New Zealand and he looks at the database and it gives 3 New Zealand things. Then it says New York, Staten Island's in New York. So I'm searching for New Zealand and people in Europe are like, oh, Staten Island, isn't that in New Zealand? I search for it. Well, what if I'm asking for the first 5? And there's only 3. Well, I'm going to get the closest thing. Happen to be New York, not distance-wise, obviously, because the word new there. But I like this talk because it also has images and how to fix some of those things. It's also AI services like vision document. You can build your anomalies for free and forecasting with regression, or you can do it automatically with Oracle. But I did vision. This was a healthy person versus someone who had pneumonia. And I thought, how many images does it take to find this? With 10 images, the confidence level was like 20, 30%. When I went to 100 images of each, now all of a sudden it could do 83 and 88% confidence. When I raised it to 1,000 images, it was in the very high 90s, 99 plus. So what are we doing with these algorithms you saw in the first part of this talk, in the last talk I did at NYOUG? And the answer is piecing them into the parts of the business that you have, putting those algorithms in just the right place, augmenting individuals to do better. Then I want to use the LLMs to start to build agents that people can use to answer their questions. And Larry is doing that for the medical world because he bought a company called Cerner, and now he's using his own product, autonomous database, Apex, making it great. Why is it becoming better and better? Because the toughest customer on earth is Larry. They're also putting it into all their apps. So are you doing machine learning, supervised learning? You have data. Is there fraud? Finding anomalies. Supervised learning, classifying images. What's on the road? I want to build an autonomous car. Supervised regression. Am I going to hit my numbers? Unsupervised learning, just some big data somebody gives me. Certain age groups buy my product. I won't have people call everybody. Oracle, putting them in apps. Last year, they had 100 plus generative AI features and 50 plus agents as well. Then 6 months later, they introduced AI Agent Studio. You can build your own agent, put it in apps. Then they said, sorry about that. Then just a month ago, 600 assistants and agents. Now you're the benefits advisor. Well, guess what? We're going to give you a benefits advisor so you can look stuff up. But in addition to that, they let people through Oracle University get certified on this building agents that you can use within Oracle apps as well. So Oracle apps, way ahead of the game in agents. Oracle is in the upper right quadrant of Gartner's quadrant as the leader in agents. Another example, Oracle SRs. People no longer want to set bowling pins. They don't want to cut ice. They don't want to light street lamps because these were mundane tasks. Well, if somebody doesn't know how to log on to Oracle, I can have the AI do that. So certain things assigned to automation, certain SRs are assigned to service reps because they're much harder. Over time, since the computer can get that done in about half a millisecond, 5,000 times more things. But should I put all of them to automation? No, people don't like that. When they have a problem you can't solve with automation, they want someone to solve it still. But if it can be solved with automation in a millisecond, they'd rather have that. They also have a way to do within apps to reply with an AI assistant to some email. Oh, that's a little long. Notice this is sales. Of course, a salesperson would never say automatically reply, but of course they would. Shorter. I could change the tone. I better make it a little nicer. How long is it before we just have a little button where we click and say, just do all my email. I'm going on vacation. When I built this agent, and I'm going to show you a product called AI Optimizer Toolkit, if I have time, that I worked with Mark Nelson and did a presentation on. It was a live lab, but I went to 007 and I went back there and I said, let's see how well it summarized it. It summarized it very well, also gave me the document if I wanted. It also talked about multi-cloud, how that was important, and the things that I had put in there, it was very good at summarizing. I thought, can you summarize it well in pirate language? Listen up, mateys. The tale of Rich Niemiec's blog is a treasure map to a world of database wonders, legendary Larry Ellison, that everything's going to be on an autonomous database at Apex in the future. With his keen eye for the horizon, Larry steered the ship toward the treasure-laden isles of AI. Do they know he does sailboats? Probably. Rich, being the savvy navigator, shared the economic booty, tales of economic booty gained from plundering data with the power of AI. Okay, last year I was doing a talk on agents, so is that what I'm teaching people? The blog is a treasure map where algorithms, examples of experts to spot, set sail with Oracle and find your fortune. It took me 30 minutes to do it. Next time, maybe 10 minutes. How quick to build an agent that answers questions. The new agents just came out, all new documents, very good, creating endpoints. Add a human in the loop if you'd like one. Now let's look forward to in some great documentation. But I'm going to go to analytics. I'm going to go to GenAI again. Now when I create an agent, it's create an agent. I start to create it. I'm going to create a chat with text, Rich 007 again. Then the next one, add a tool. Now I can do retrieval augmented generation to a knowledge base, to my database. I could also use a tool like SQL. I'd like to ask you something in English and you're going to give me the answer in SQL. Or I could build a custom tool so it just automatically works for people, or an API endpoint. And here's setting up the endpoint. Notice I say automatically created, so I don't have to. And I can say enable a human in the loop. I could also put guardrails to disable some toxic information, some toxic content for content moderation. Do I want to block it? Do I want to inform about it? Or do I want to disable it? The default is disabled. Keep that in mind. And then, now it's giving me, I need a Llama license, and I did it, and I created the agent. I just wanted to let you know there's 3 dots to the right of that where you can delete an agent. So it keeps getting better. But guess what? Last month, just got better. I thought I'd show you just a couple of slides of newer things and how Larry is using some of these things. So first of all, he's building the biggest cloud on planet Earth. Abilene, Texas, 500,000 NVIDIA GPUs. It can be multimodal. You can go to public data. You can augment that with private data. I saw an article that said they have 18 billion in debt, and I read closer, and it's like cloud contracts are worth 455 billion. I was trying to make it look like, do they have all the, how can they afford this? 18 billion. And I thought, well, they're going to make 45 billion. Okay. He also talked about Elon, Mark, Sam. This is OpenAI, Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. I'm guessing, he didn't say actually. But they're spending their fortunes on building these models. And these are the 5 LLMs that are the main ones that Oracle uses all of them. OpenAI, Anthropic is Claude, Google Gemini 2.5. It's also the latest ones of all of them. Multimodal, which we've talked about, but also where we're including sensors for things like vital signs, robotic self-driving cars, autonomous stock trading. That's all scared me. That's why things are going so fast there. Multimodal, this was probably the big thing he said, in my opinion. Multi-step reasoning. It doesn't do one thing. Deduction, infer something. Everything does inferencing in the first step of it. But it does calculation, strategy, rules. You can put all these things in. And he said, it's like us. They're doing reasoning now because you can build it. Given you built it, do that. Diagnose medical images and do something about those diagnoses and so on. And then some of the examples of where people are using things. Biometric logins. So you have fraud-proof credit cards that, you have a biometric. The credit card works because your fingerprint is on it, or your finger touches it, and basically use biometrics to verify it. IoT devices, so you can be at home watching your. I think eventually people will be. People are wearing a watch now, but it's going to be much more detailed on what somebody can help you with. The ambulance is going to probably show up before you fall over. I also talked about he's building medical devices with robotics, autonomous factories. So you can see Larry's building robotics. They have robotics AI greenhouses. I don't know if he built these or he invests in them, but he talked about how there is less CO2, eliminates fertilizer, has nitrogen from the atmosphere. It's a high pressure where people aren't in there. It's all done by robots, and people can only harvest it after. Converts CO2 to CaCO3. And what this does is take the issues with the environment and takes them from 440 parts per million to 400. So they're making the environment even better than it was, moving it down to call it a temperature they need. And then I thought, well, with all that advancement, I walked out of this class and I thought I'm going to ask a question because Larry wasn't physically in person at his keynote. And it started an hour late because the countdown clock broke. And so people didn't know when it was starting. And then when it finally did start, he wasn't there. And so I asked Google, why wasn't he there? Why was Larry's talk virtual versus in person? So Larry's talk was not held virtually. Okay, I was physically there. It was an in-person event. Okay, and then I said, okay, I guess I would have to change that question. I was at Larry's talk, and it was virtual versus in person. Why? Oh, probably because he wanted to deliver a choice because he wanted to leverage technology or something like that. And I thought, well, then why am I here? I thought it was interesting, hallucinated immediately, and then gave the right answer once I knew more. Other things, I have to go a little faster on this part, but this is not to teach you this. This is to show you, hey, you should go watch this on YouTube. The next one was Juan Loaiza and TK Anand's talk, AI database. They talked about the database going to 26, how you can automatically, with words, create apps. AI data lakehouse, so I can go to things like Redbrick, Snowflake, and the new AI data platform they're building. First thing was 26 AI. Next generation database, no upgrade is needed, just a patch. And you get the 26 AI immediately. Many tools for 19C, they put some in there as well. But also app dev, where I can say what I want and it'll generate that app. If you want to know more about it, there's a little more about that patch. Just to let you know, it's 23.26. So it's not 26.0 like usual, 23.26. Keep that in mind. And there's a couple of YouTubes I put out on there with Craig and Connor. AI agents, now reasoning. Juan showed a little bit why, how they can do that, and build actions using the database, vector database, but also with the MCP server, which stands for Model Context Protocol. If you haven't read on this, you should. Also the Select AI agent, where I can ask for something in just words and get back a SQL statement like below. It'll generate it for me automatically. And also coming soon is going to be an AI management assistant for the DBA, database manager, security assistant, knowledge assistant, diagnostic assistant, and also synthetic data I can build automatically. Don't have to worry about masking and things like that. They've also built an AI data lakehouse. Basically, the way Juan said, autonomous data warehouse becomes the autonomous AI lakehouse, integrates with Apache Iceberg. So you can go to all these other things that are on Apache Iceberg. And then they built an AI data platform so that you can catalog data, not just in Oracle, but in other places. They have an agent factory to build it. On the right, these are from Steve Miranda's talk. I actually put them in there just for different aspects. Have all the main LLMs in there. Then was my talk with Mark Nelson. Mark Nelson's talk, actually. I was kind of tag along. But you could ask questions of things using a specific LLM. You could do retrieval augmented generation. You tell it which LLM you want. You could test different temperatures in this tool. I could have different models. You can't see them great here, but you have Chat GPT, GPT-4o mini, GPT-4. You have Llama here, and I can then compare those. I can do splitting and embedding for documents as well and test different breakpoints, different sizes, different overlaps, different temperatures. You can see GPT, the default was 1. Maybe I want to make it 0. Top P, how many things do I need? Top K, first 4 results. How big I want the overlap to be, what the distance I want to use. So very quickly I could do this, but I can also compare them and see how well it's doing. Really, really good. I'm not teaching you this. I'm just letting you know it's in this hands-on lab, 2805. How fast is the world going? It just continues to go faster and faster. Now, Rod Serling, so you're in this dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You just entered the 5th dimension. Well, guess what? That was nothing. We're in hundreds of dimensions now. Robots, they're already here. I don't have to wait for robots. They've got here. I remember they used to, when the mainframe was out, they said they could help you with your love life. Take Agnes's advice. I was in a Twilight Zone. They can do it now. Let's see. Hey Siri, why don't my relationships work out? This is Alexa. Okay. Doesn't know her name. But virtual, mixed reality, augmented reality, you could do it now, and people are doing it to help sell products for their customers or to see where people are stopping, or if I need to add something in the warehouse or train a robot to pick things at night. But the security Oracle has in their database, people aren't going to build a vector database and have that in a couple of years. It's going to take decades. CIO of the CIA sat down with Safra last year, talked about their security and how they work together to make sure it's good. And Larry talked about the added biometrics they're putting in, even at the network level. But this is partner, like what's coming, and then people are tired of hearing about it. And then finally, it's hitting 5% of the people, augmented reality. In 2018, the digital twin was coming, and hey, guess what? It's supposed to take 5 to 10 years. Well, you just saw it. It's my agent, Rich 007. He's helping. Why are things moving faster? Because 2 to the 16th is not quite as much as 2 to the 32, 2 to the 64. When we went from Windows 16-bit to 32-bit, we got the internet. Went to 64-bit, we're getting robotics, machine learning, AI, and so on. Implants will probably come with 128-bit. Oracle already has a 128-bit operating system called Zeta. 2024, September, they said, hey, you better work on autonomous agents. They're coming in 5 to 10 years. Guess what? In January, they said agentic AI is the number one thing, number one trend. You learned it here. You're ahead of the game. It used to look very futuristic. Now, much more futuristic. Quantum computing. Spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it. Why did God put you here at the best turning point of history ever, where things are accelerating beyond belief? There's got to be a reason for it. We went from using to wearing to implanting to the hive mind to I can implant things with Neuralink, and they work. And we have robots like Sophia. She's a citizen, wants to get a degree and have kids. What is alive and sentient with some ethical issues? This is quantum computer. Google's computer just a few years ago, 241 million times faster. Now these are good for certain problems, not every problem. Technology went from 1800s in 200 years to the stealth bomber. But went from here to here in 1500 years. I saw this on Reddit. I said, wait a minute. And I looked it up, and it was Mesopotamia. It took 4,900 years, and we're still on the horses. Then around the middle, around 1925, 27, cars started outnumbering horses. So it was less than 100 years to get to this. And just to let you know, that plane is already obsolete. 100 years to go where we went in 5,000 years. Why are you here at this point in time? You're here to do something. Oracle started building things, version 2, because Larry didn't think anyone would buy version 1. You could see all the things they put in since. Now we have AI where we don't even have to build code. I just give it words, I'll vibe code it. It's called vibe coding. And here's a joke on it. Developer coding 2 hours before ChatGPT, 6 hours to fix it and debug it. After ChatGPT, generating code 5 minutes, after debugging 24 hours. They're missing the DBA that's in the middle going, you need to fix your code. Where the coder says, I don't always test my code, but when I do it in production. So what did I want to show you here? The economic potential. What's the value of your data? What are some of the distractions happening? Things happening fast. The algorithms that should go into your foundation model, like Larry was building. The LLMs I could put and start to build those agents to take an action. And then putting those agents into robots in the future and making sure I built that foundation model. A couple things at AI World that I saw that I thought were good. Things may come to those who wait, but only things left by those who hustle. Here's a guy that's in here originally with his email to talk about how he does things before he even starts doing AI. might be somebody worthwhile. And where people use agents, and then you can call us and we can build on it for you if you want, or help. Things may come to those who wait, but only things left by those who hustle. Oracle's not going to be caught because the stuff they built took decades. It's going to take a while for them to do it. Oh, you want your cloud cost to go down? Make sure you tune it. If you want a copy of this, here's a barcode for it. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not to build, they didn't have to think whether they should build it. Is that the point we're at right now? You know, that's my question. And I do see one thing that says, is knowledge base a kind of some vector? So a knowledge base, and they probably asked this a while ago, 1136. A knowledge base is I have a bunch of documents, and then I'm vectorizing them in the database, and now it's my knowledge base that now I can use a chat to answer the front end. So thanks for that question. Does anyone have any other questions? I'll stay as long as you guys ask questions. But hopefully that was helpful. It's just an overview of a lot of things. You have to decide what does your company need the most. But think of AI being augmenting individuals. How can you augment individuals? How can you augment them, you know, with a chatbot? How can you augment them with easy ways to do other things? Any other questions? All right. Can anyone still hear me? I should ask that first, right?
Yes, we can definitely still hear you. Last call for questions.
Sorry. Stop the share. We'll just go live.
Thank you so much, Rich. I think that's
Yeah.
all we've got for questions there.
I always give a very deep talk at New York because I know you guys can handle it. Not everybody can handle it.
I love that. And that was just so much information. We
You
will
want to
have,
make a difference, you got to act.
yes, we'll have Rich's slides for you guys too if you want to review those both at Orapub and at nyoug.org.
Right. Thanks,
Awesome.
everybody.
Thank
And
you so
have a
much.
good
And
day.
if anyone has any questions later after the fact, you're welcome to email us
Oh,
as well.
there is a question. Will the video be sent out? That's for
Yes,
you,
it
Monica.
normally takes us a day or two to get it posted. It'll be online for you.
And it'll be
Awesome.
posted on NYOUG as well.
Yeah, thanks so much for the NYUG hosting me. Always appreciate coming here. You could see how fast things are moving. We'd like to say it's going to slow down, but it's not. It's just going to go faster, but Oracle's making it easier, and they're very quickly becoming the leader. And in the future, I'd say 5 years out, they'll be the #1 cloud, and maybe more than all the other clouds combined, because they're investing money now. Larry's in a hurry, I think, to win that battle.
You're welcome.
You bet.
Righty. Thank you guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Look for an email from me or my team to let
Hopefully
you
it
know
was
when the
helpful.
video is posted.
You could let us know if it was helpful or if we need to change something.
Yes, or if it sparked up any interest for a deep dive into something else, please let
Yeah.
us
Or if you need any links or anything else. Happy to provide those.
Thank you so much, Rich. Hopefully we'll have you back again for another NYOUG webinar.
You got it. Have a great day, guys.
Awesome. Take care.
Thank
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Coleman. Thank you, Rob.